The modern world demonstrates a fascination with power. Nations seek dominance over nations, corporations over competitors, and individuals over one another. Yet all forms of worldly power are temporary. Empires rise and fall, political systems change, and fortunes are gained and lost. The pursuit of power often becomes a distraction from the pursuit of wisdom. From the perspective of Hindu philosophy, this obsession with power reflects a deeper condition known as delusion. Delusion is not simply the acceptance of false ideas. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of reality itself. It arises when human beings mistake the transient for the eternal and the external for the essential. The world admires those who accumulate influence, wealth, authority, and prestige. Success is frequently measured by the ability to command resources or shape the actions of others. Entire civilizations organize themselves around competition for greater control. Yet Hindu thought asks a simple question. What lasting value does power possess if its holder remains ignorant of the nature of the self? History repeatedly demonstrates the impermanence of worldly achievement. Conquerors become historical footnotes, wealth is left behind, and political leaders are celebrated by one generation and forgotten by the next. Nevertheless, humanity continues to pursue these temporary attainments as though they offer permanence and fulfillment. This persistence reveals the depth of delusion. The Bhagavad Gita describes a condition in which attachment clouds judgment and obscures wisdom. Under its influence, individuals become convinced that external acquisitions can provide lasting satisfaction. Desire gives rise to further desire, creating a cycle without end. The more power is obtained, the more power appears necessary. What begins as ambition gradually becomes bondage. According to Hindu philosophy, the root of this bondage is ignorance of one's true nature. Human beings identify themselves with the body, social status, nationality, profession, ideology, and other temporary labels. They come to believe that strengthening these identities constitutes genuine progress, even though all such identities are subject to change and disappearance. This misunderstanding extends beyond individuals to entire societies. Nations define themselves through competition with other nations. Economic systems reward accumulation without questioning its purpose. Technological advancement is celebrated as an end in itself, even when it fails to address deeper questions of meaning and wisdom. Humanity becomes increasingly capable of controlling the external world while remaining uncertain about the nature of consciousness, purpose, and inner fulfillment. In this sense, the modern world possesses unprecedented power, but not necessarily greater understanding. Hindu philosophy does not reject power outright. Power can serve protection, service, and social order. The problem arises when power becomes an object of worship rather than a tool. When power is pursued as the highest good, it distracts from the deeper task of self-knowledge. The sages of Hindu tradition point toward a different form of strength: mastery over one's own desires, fears, attachments, and illusions. True wisdom begins when a person recognizes the limitations of temporary achievements and seeks that which remains unchanged amidst change. The enduring relevance of Hindu philosophy lies in its diagnosis of the human condition. Despite vast differences in culture, technology, and historical circumstance, humanity continues to chase what cannot ultimately satisfy, while overlooking what cannot be lost. The forms of delusion evolve, but the underlying confusion remains the same. Until wisdom becomes more valued than domination, and self-knowledge more important than conquest, the cycle of delusion will continue, regardless of how powerful the world becomes.